So here you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to my channel. Now we have the ban list, the fabled ban list. It has graced us with its glorious presence. Now we get to see, have there been any changes? Do we get cards hit that many people are wanting to get hit? Is everything gone crazy? Is Max C at 3? We'll have to find out. So here we go. Let's take a look. What is forbidden? Alright, so straight away, whoa, we are hit with Block Dragon. So of course, everyone was calling for this card to get hit. It is a pretty ridiculous card, it's pretty broken, and with Adamanticators, it can just really extend your plays to beyond reckoning, right? So no matter how many hand traps you've got, no matter how many outs and counters you have against Adamanticators, they can just keep piling on through, and it's not very fair at all. So good job that this one has been banned. And now we move on to see what else has been hit. We've already got Jet Synchron here, and Olion, wow. Right, so let's just dissect this real quick. So Jet Synchron and Mecha Phantom Beast Olion were used in the Borreload Savage Dragon Arclight combo, which has basically been splashed in every single deck that you can possibly imagine. So in this format, we get all these different diversity of decks, but the engines they use are fairly similar, and that's not great. So Jet Synchron's been hit. I didn't think that would honestly get hit. Same with Olion. I thought maybe they would have gone to 1 or something. So I mean, effectively the Borreload Savage Dragon combo has been slowed or ground completely to a halt, and I think people will now have to change their strategy a bit in the upcoming days. So another good strategy is to bring out King of All Calamities turn 1. So those two combos, at least one of them has been hit so far, which is great. That means our turn 1s are going to look a little different. It was way too easy to bring out Borrowed Savage Dragon, but yeah, it is what it is. Has anything else been hit? So no more effect monsters. No fusions. Orden's still banned, of course. No links that have been banned from what we can see. No synchros. No XYZ. We go on to the spells. Is there anything? No. And any traps? Okay, so that seems to be all of the forbidden list. So we've got expected cards with Block Dragon. I didn't expect Olion at least to be banned. I thought Jet Synchron maybe, but at least go to 1, but a bunch of them. But it is what it is. So now, what else do we have? We move on to the limited set. Yugioh, still limited. Whoa, okay, so Double Iris Dragon. That was forbidden, and now it's limited to 1. So if we were to just take a look at this card, it is a 4-star Spellcaster. It's got 8 on its Pendulum scale, and its Pendulum effect is once per turn you can target a Dark Spellcaster type monster you control, apply this effect to it, and then destroy this card. Once applied, double any battle damage that monster inflicts to your opponent this turn if it battles a monster. Pretty cool. And then the effect itself. If this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can add 1 Pendulum Graph card from your deck to your hand. So bringing back pendulums, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, fair enough. I didn't have that on my radar at all, so that's quite a nice addition to the limited list. Is there anything else? Okay, we've got, we have the Phantom Beast, the Phantom Knights of Rusty Bardiche. So that was forbidden, and now it's back at 1. Right, so Rusty Bardiche, got the card right here. It is a Link 3, requires 2 Dark Monsters or more, and during the main phase you can send a Phantom Knights monster from the deck to the grave, okay? Then you set a Phantom Knight spell or trap directly from the deck to your spell and trap card zone. If a Dark XYZ monster, Exceed monster, is special summoned to a zone this card points to, you can target 1 card on the field and destroy it. You can only use each effect of this card once per turn, and it cannot be used as a link material. It is a really strong card, bringing it out to just destroy cards on the field. I've had some problems with it back when it was off the ban list, and now it truly is off the ban list once again. So I've got mixed feelings about it. On the one hand I'm scared, but on the other hand I quite like that it is at least at 1. It's going to be quite interesting to have this sort of card splashed in different decks. Bringing back Phantom Knights, maybe even support for Burning Abyss, we'll have to see. Right, and Call by the Grave is limited. That's interesting. Right, okay, so it's one of those cards. Oh boy, okay, hold on a second. Holy So, alright, I'll talk about Called by the Grave in a second, but Harpy's Feather Duster? Are you serious? Harpy's Feather Duster? Wait a minute. Are you telling me that I can use my Harpy's Feather Duster once again in, what, 14 years or something absolutely ridiculous? Right, Harpy's Feather Duster, it needs no introduction, right? It destroys all spell and trap cards on your opponent's side of the field. It has been, I think it was in the OCG, it wasn't banned for ages in the OCG. And I always thought to myself, if we've got Raigeki, like, you know, it's one of those extra cards that, yes, destroying back row is more powerful, but, you know, come on, I think that we need to have something like this, especially with the likes of Eldritch, right? Having all these different traps and spells that they can set. And with Rusty Bardiche coming off the ban list, being able to set, say, Phantom Knight cards as well, Harpy's Feather Duster is going to be amazing. So, I remember playing back in GOAT format, you know, with Heavy Storm being a problem. You know, you would set a bunch of stuff and then turn 2, someone just destroys you with Heavy Storm. And I guess now we're seeing the same sort of thing with Lightning Storm. So I think because you can play Lightning Storm at 3, using a Harpy's Feather Duster, you know, it isn't too much of a stretch to include in the deck. So now effectively, you could have 3 Lightning Storm and a Harpy's Feather Duster. And in that way, you've got 4 ways to disrupt your opponent. So, ooh, I wonder how much that card's going to shoot up in price now. I am so glad that Harpy's Feather Duster is off of the ban list. That is absolutely insane. And Called by the Grave is at 1, so that's one of those cards where, you know, you play 3 of it, make sure that you draw into it, and you can disrupt hand traps like Ash Blossom. But being at 1, I'm not sure if it would see. I think it'd be more of a side deck thing now, if it wasn't already. So I only have 1 Called by the Grave anyway, so that's perfectly fine by me. So let's carry on. This ban list has gone above and beyond. Right, so that's all for the limited. And we've got a few semi-limiteds. So we have Sir, Malebranche of the Burning Abyss. That's fine. That's really good. And Graph. So both of those coming off to 2 of instead of 1 of is going to help Burning Abyss immensely. And also it's going to help different Archfiend variants as well, if you want to throw that in there. So you can use different, like Void Apocalypse, you can use Tour Guide, that sort of thing, to pitch these cards. Rhino Warrior, right, just to disrupt your opponent and bring out extra searches and summons for your Burning Abyss cards. Malicious, it hasn't been hit at all, that's fine. ABC Dragon Buster, cool, yep, so I think that's good to come back as 2, bring that archetype back. It's a very strong card, it can banish cards, it can recycle its materials to then reform itself a bit later to dodge effects. It's a problem, right? Especially if you end up fighting 3 of them. But I quite like that they're sort of bringing back these older archetypes to bring them up to speed. You can have a bit more diversity in the meta lineup, basically. Totally Awesome was limited. That's now semi-limited. That's a problem card. I'm not sure how to feel about that, but to be honest, not so many decks use it. So bringing it back to semi-limited might promote a bit of extra play with aqua-based type decks. So, you know, I'm happy with that. Makura the Destructor. Okay, so here's the last set, right? So Makura was forbidden, and now it's unlimited. So the reason for this is because it's got an errata. So back in the day, you used to just be able to play trap cards from your hand if it was on the field, and now it's getting an errata. Basically, if it's sent from the field to the grave once per turn, you can activate 1 trap card from your hand. So it's a fairly dumbed down version of Makura the Destructor, but to be honest, like, the old version, everyone knew it was broken anyway, so this coming back to 3 with that errata fixes a lot of stuff. And now we have Tour Guide, so that's great. It used to be at 2, now it's at 3. That's going to help a lot for Burning Abyss. It's going to help a lot for Archfiends if we're playing that rank 3 variant. To be honest, it hasn't seen much broken play in some time, so it's fine to bring it back to 3. Eva Gishki Gus Kraken. So that was limited, and now it's unlimited. Always liked the Eva Gishki cards, or just Gishki rituals in general. So Gus Kraken is a card that you can ritual summon with any Gishki spell card, and when it's ritual summoned, you look up to 2 random cards in your opponent's hand, shuffle them into the deck. So that gives you hand presence, right? It gives you that knowledge of what they've got, and then it shuffles one of them into the deck. So that's quite disruptive, and it's a welcome addition back to the unlimited list. Pantheism of the Monarchs, Christ. Oh boy. So that was limited, now it's unlimited. If you don't know what this does, it allows you to send a Monarch spell or trap card from your hand to the grave, draw 2, and then you can banish this card from the grave, reveal 3 Monarch spell traps from the deck, your opponent chooses one of them and it adds to the hand. Then the rest go back into the deck, and you only activate 1 per turn. So it was one of those cards that put Monarchs properly on the map. You know, it was really strong, and Monarchs were for some time the deck that was oppressive and meta relevant. Now it's coming back to 3, so we might even see some more Monarch play. Not bad. And then we have Sky Striker Mecha Widow Anchor, which was semi-limited. So this card is I believe it's a quick play, and it selects a monster on your opponent's side of the field and negates its effect, and then I believe if you've got 3 Sky Strike spells, or just 3 spells in the grave, you get to take control of that monster. So it very powerful disruptor card. Your opponent starts their turn, if they've got something on the field you just take it, and then they may be left with no real way to deal with that situation. But you know, it's semi-limited, now it's going back to unlimited, so you know, there you have it. So that wraps up the ban list. I expected some things to get hit, some people expected nothing to get hit, but I'm quite glad that this has actually been a ban list worth considering, worth looking at. Harpy's Feather Duster is unreal, but there you have it. So I would be very interested to see what you might have to say about this ban list. It comes into effect in just a few short days, so if you liked this video, ladies and gentlemen, then please give it a like, because it helps a lot. And if you want to see more Archfiend related duels, reviews, combos, that sort of stuff, then feel free to have a browse, hit subscribe so you can see even more content when it comes out, and until next time, I'll see you around.